So, thank you for all the good words spilling on me. The last thing I remember that got spilled on me was some lube oil, some diesel oil, and some more of heavy oil. Good evening, everyone. I'm Nyari Nan, sailing as an engineer in the Merchant Navy, and I'm also the author of the book Anchor My Heart. I'm sure I'm sure there are lots of inspirational stories out there you all have already been tuning into, but the reason I'm here is because this one of mine was missing there. Let me ask you all a question first. How many of you all know the significance of prayer wheels in Buddhism? Okay, I'm sure most of you must have moved them as a part of the religious courtesy while visiting their temples or monasteries. The amazing ideology behind this is that the rolling cylinders produce the same kind of effect one would expect reading out large, complicated prayers standing in one place in a more easier and simplified way. The definition of mass, is anything that occupies space and has some volume in it, was taught in school years back. So, interestingly, all those people who keep a larger volume of their lives in a rigid space tend to be the masses. We need to move to stand out. You know, when a ship stays anchored for long, fouling takes place all over her underwater hull, of barnacles, of weeds, and everything useless. She needs to be moving to be of purpose, to be an asset. And then we have to get divers and spend a whole lot of money to clean the hull because the engines cannot propel with the same efficiency. In fact, there's a drop of approximately 20% in the efficiency of an engine producing 50% power, however good the horsepower be. Don't you think that this really is a significant amount of wastage of energy? We need to keep evolving and shedding the trashes of our past for a beautiful present called the present. We need to come out of the cocoon, which now feels okay to be in, to really transform into a butterfly with scintillating wings. In an average lifespan of just say 70 years, which I'm not sure of myself given the fries I'm consuming and all the other inorganic stuff, why do we have to be prisoners of something that taught us a lesson or a character of a painting that's hideous and torturous all the time? Let's just move on and thank God for making us vertebrates with two strong legs that are ready to just leap off on one given command from the brain. And I got selected in the extended merit list of IIT JEE in 2009. I'm very proud to mention that because back then people thought that I was a bad student. I was actually a very bad student. So then I thought that I would now be a part of India's topmost marine engineering college, the best one. And then something went wrong. I couldn't get through the counseling. That's when I too got to know that it's not merely qualifying an exam that gets you a college in India. I had to appear for another exam of marine engineering. But now the college options had changed. Deep down, the target was still to get to the best one, the top one. See, it's so difficult to get rid of the things once embedded in your brain. And I had to opt for an alternate option unwillingly. And I detested it for years in my college life. Because I was the one doing some outstanding things in the college. I got rewarded as its brand ambassador, an all-rounder, and most enterprising cadet in the academy. I was still not happy to carry a badge like that. I was still hooked on to my past even after earning a handsome salary and seeing places with a global company. One fine day, one of my friends from the same college I couldn't make it to called me up and said, Nyari, I'm jobless. Because the shipping companies took just a few toppers from our batch. I said, you can apply anywhere given your alma mater's name. So then he said, there are no jobs out there no matter where you have passed out from. Any shipping company comes with a maximum of 10 seats. I wish had there been a little lesser students like in your college, it would have been better. And then I realized I was so wrong. And then I realized that I was so stupid to have wasted the beautiful years of a college life which cannot come back now ever. I wish I had moved on then and lived to the fullest rather than repenting and lamenting like most of the people do so often in their lives. Life is beautiful only when we have the eyes for it. You know, if you cannot look beyond someone or something with the most powerful lens in the world, why are we even owning it? We meet various people, complaining about how ruined their lives are. Who's responsible for this? People or eyes? So many people want to end their lives. And there's only one thing that I tell them. Don't forget, your poor mom had to suffer a pain equivalent to breaking of some 200 bones together for these valuable organs you want to just rip off. Even when it rains, it doesn't happen all over the world at the same time. Or the snow, the storm, or anything adverse, even the nature executes it only in parts. The sun is soothing in so many parts and burning in the other. We just need to exchange places if we can't endure it right now to see how beautiful this world is. Every damn thing on this planet is temporary, including you and me and our bosses. All we need is to keep room for other temporary happenings, good or bad. Change is always an unwelcoming startle. It was as per Newton's first law to derive physics formula. And here we are decades later proving that this applies to various other sectors of life as well. I'm sure half the crowd here doesn't even remember what the hell this first law of Newton was. Please, let's be inventors, discoverers of new and weird things in our lives ourselves. Like I've always said, problems could be multifaceted, but no more than the solutions. We just keep on ignoring them because we believe the grass is always greener on the other side. To hell with it. Who said that? Someone like you or me? Okay, let's consider the worst cases in chronological order. Number one, even if all the grasses on the other side would be grey, you will have a different view unlike the grotesque previous one. Two, if the new problem springs up, you will have the happiness of getting rid of the previous one. Three, and the most important, the new set of solutions will be fresh with more bullet points. I think this much of positivity is enough for a worst case. Anything better will just be what you would be needing at that point of time in life. Moving on is an art, which one develops only when he has spine for it. It's a science of being able to harness the best and crop the weedy stuff that only share the nutrients and give nothing at all in return. It's about controlling the involuntary senses inside which tell us, beware, look out, be careful, shh, and all those scary words in the dictionary. One Ukrainian chief engineer on my last ship used to tell me, Teen Saab, yeah, because I am a third engineer and it's always Saab. So, Teen Saab, we get what we proclaim. We need to understand that we have to sharpen our axes before the skill degrades because our brain told us so. Life is like a pair of shoes. The moment the legs are off you, dirty socks are shoved in your mouth. Be a listener, a speaker, and an executor of the plans you drew after hopping on and off at various stations. You can't go on vacations to the beaches every time. It has to be rotated between beaches and hills together, and whatnot to make it worth it. Routine is monotonous and unyielding. If you stay anchored in one kind of water, I assure you, fouling will happen. So keep changing the densities, however minimal, and see the miraculous outputs. Thank you.